A murderous curse doomed the woman to loneliness. The ghost of a little boy will help stop a series of deaths. You're watching Psychic Investigations. Only true and impressive stories are collected here. People who call themselves psychics take up tangled criminal cases and paranormal phenomena to unearth the truth and save someone's life. In this episode, thanks to their superpowers, the Clairvoyants are going to challenge the supernatural forces that are trying to kill Anastasia, a young Ukrainian mother.
Let's draw a car, all right?
The place where Anastasia lives and works is unique. It's a privately owned zoo where they rehabilitate wild animals. She saves animals from all over Ukraine that, owing to different reasons, found themselves between life and death.
Good girl. Well done. What a clever girl.
The brave woman has no fear of carnivorous beasts. Only one thing scares her: the spirit of her late husband, Yuri. Anastasia claims he took the life of her fiancé, who she was going to marry after Yuri died, and he's now hunting her.
He loved me madly. He can't let me go even after his death. He used to tell me, "I'll always be by your side."
Anastasia and Yuri's relationship began in this very zoo. The couple built it almost from scratch.
We worked together. He was the manager and I was the administrator.
But 4 years ago, the doctors found a severe disease in Yuri.
Pancreonecrosis. They performed pancreatic resection, but it didn't help. When Yuri died, my life was ruined.
Only 3 years after Yuri's death, Anastasia paid attention to her new colleague.
Ole. He was an interesting, peculiar man. He became my best friend, and he showed his affection.
Eventually, the woman dared for a date with Ole. But at night, late Yuri visited her in a dream.
A long table. He's standing in front of it, and I say, "Yuri, is it really you?" Then I woke up, horrified.
But when she opened her eyes, she froze from terror. Yuri's ghost was standing in the middle of the room.
I was petrified. He died, I know it, so I screamed and scared the children.
And it only got worse over time. Anastasia says the ghost settled in her house, and he now appears day and night. Soon afterward, Ole proposed to Anastasia. She hesitated a lot whether she should accept the proposal, but her children helped her make up her mind.
Miroslava told me one day, "Mom, we're so used to Uncle Ole," and so I agreed.
The day after the engagement ceremony, a tragedy occurred. Ole unexpectedly fell from the steps of the house and hit his head badly.
The doctors did tomography. He had a hematoma. He was getting worse and worse and worse.
Eventually, Ole died. The woman is convinced that her late husband took him to the other world, and now he's hunting her.
I was admitted to the hospital. I had an appendectomy.
During the operation, the allergic reaction Anastasia suddenly began in the young woman, and Anastasia's heart stopped. She says she still remembers the feeling of her soul leaving the body while she was being resuscitated.
It was horrific. I left my body and saw myself lying there from the outside. I felt strong fear. I panicked.
The woman says that then, she again saw late Yuri next to her.
I tried to move, put my limbs in motion, but I couldn't.
Luckily, the doctors succeeded and saved Anastasia. But the poor woman fears that the next time there might be no miracle, and her children will be orphans.
I can't even imagine them here their mom is gone. I want it all to be over. Please, please help me.
Ukraine's most powerful clairvoyants, Jana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help Anastasia.
Jana, while I was tuning into Anastasia's photo, I saw a woman's spirit next to her. a blonde of about 30. She was holding a dead baby in her arms.
Who is she?
I don't know, she only said, "You will only stop the death when you find blood on the flowers."
Look, a living woman and a dead woman, and the cards of love and a man.
Like a love triangle. They might be connected by love for the same man.
Who is the mysterious woman with the baby in her arms? What blood on the flowers did she mean? And is Anastasia indeed in grave danger because of the love triangle? An hour later, the clairvoyants arrived at the zoo. The house in which Anastasia and children live is next door.
Hello, thank you so much for coming.
The cards showed me that Anastasia shouldn't have left the world of the living a long time ago. It's somehow connected with a promise you gave the deceased.
Wait. Yes, I feel that you gave an oath to your late husband. You did it right before his death.
He was at the intensive care. I tried to calm him down so he could go on living. I told him, "I will always be by your side."
Anastasia still remembers holding her husband by his hand and crying. A few minutes later, Yuri closed his eyes for good.
If Anastasia swore to Yuri to be faithful to him, but then found a new man who she decided to marry again, it's quite probable her late husband's spirit could be seeking revenge on her.
Does this mean Anastasia is really doomed because of the vow of love she gave? Then why did the clairvoyants see the woman with the baby in her arms?
The only way to understand if it's Yuri who's trying to take Anastasia is to summon his spirit and ask him directly. You must close your eyes and call him.
Yuri, please come. I beg you. I need you so much.
I see Yuri. He's next to you. I see him pat your head. He's embracing you.
I saw him. He was smiling, he was kind. The man I used to know was standing next to me.
Anastasia, your husband says he misses all of you, especially your youngest son.
Most of all, Anastasia regrets that her son, Myron, doesn't remember his father. Yuri died when the boy was only 1 year old.
Yuri, I want to tell you Myron looks like you a lot. In everything. And Miroslava, too. I love you so much.
The ghost of the dead man was embracing his wife in front of me. Yuri would never hurt Anastasia, neither in life nor after death. I feel that both your husbands condemned to death by something. Yuri is asking us to save you from the evil force.
He's showing me some big fantasy animal. It's like a deer.
I feel that Yuri took care of it when he was alive.
The moose?
The animal saw its strength.
Can you show it to me?
Of course.
What did you see? What? I saw some kind of black crater. It appears suddenly, and out of this black void, an otherworldly force emerges.
Like it's chasing you.
It's hard to believe. But as soon as the clairvoyant began describing the spirit, the animals went insane in the zoo. Growling and howling started in every cage.
The animals were trying to tell us who and why is hunting Anastasia.
For a long time, the clairvoyants, without a word, approached the animals and worked with them, trying to get information. Meanwhile, it grew dark.
I see a woman's ghost over there. The woman with the dead baby in her arms. From my dream. She's calling me to follow her. Quick. She stopped next to that house.
The clairvoyant points at the house in the territory of the zoo Anastasia lives.
She's holding the dead baby, telling it, "It's my house."
Has a baby ever died in there?
No.
But then the woman started weeping and mumbling something. I could only make out one phrase. Died from the curse. After that, she pointed at Anastasia.
This is terrifying. What could Rubina Cybulska's words mean? Who died from the curse? Why is the woman's ghost pointing at Anastasia? And who on earth is this woman?
She's the third in the love triangle between you, Anastasia, and another man.
Marina.
It turned out that late Yuri, before he met Anastasia, had lived with a woman named Marina. The couple even had a daughter. They lived in the house in which Anastasia lives now.
I feel that before meeting you, Yuri broke up with Marina. But she didn't lose the hope he would come back until the very last moment.
It's true, yes. I had a conflict with her. It happened here at the zoo. She blamed me for taking Yuri away from her.
How did she die?
I see some mechanics, an overturned chariot.
She fell from a motorcycle. She hit her head hard and immediately fell into a coma.
Marina's friend was giving her a lift. The man lost control and crashed into a tree. An ambulance took the woman from the site.
The doctor from the emergency care told us she was on the 3rd stage of coma. Nobody said nothing. No predictions or hopes.
Marina died, never regaining consciousness.
I realized Marina's spirit had a reason to appear while she was alive. You took away the man that she loved from her, so she could be trying to take revenge on you after death.
And it could be.
I suddenly heard Marina's voice. She said I couldn't take him. He died while I was still in the world of the living. Did Marina die after Yuri?
Yes. He died first and she died afterward.
She's not the killer. She's got nothing to do with the deaths of the men you loved. It's quite the opposite. Marina's defending you. I was shocked. The woman who hated Anastasia while she was alive is now protecting her. But why? She says, "Thank you for fighting for my life."
Were you around while she was dying?
Yes. We took her to a better hospital. I did everything. I didn't want to let her go.
Anastasia says she forgot all of their old conflicts and stayed with Marina until the end. It's hard to believe, but the new love of her ex-husband became Marina's only support.
Marina says she's protecting you from the other world because you're taking care of her daughter.
I'm raising her daughter.
Marina had no relatives, so Anastasia arranged the funeral. After it, she immediately adopted the other Marina's daughter. Anastasia says that legally she had no rights to the girl, but she did everything, so little Miroslava could stay with her.
After Marina died, I asked her a question. "Miroslava, who do you want to live with?" And she said, "With you." I've always had the feeling she's my daughter.
It's hard for Marina's spirit to stay in our world. She must go. But before she does it, she wants to embrace you.
Like this, tightly. Thank you, Marina.
When I embraced Anastasia, I had a vision. Anastasia and an adult. Dark-haired woman next to her. She was shouting something in the language I couldn't understand. And all of it was happening in a small house. Can I work in your house?
The cards show me that you received a death letter.
It's connected with a dead little boy.
Yes, he was my first son, Ilya. He would have been 18 by now.
Anastasia gave birth to her first son when she was only 19, but the baby boy only lived for half a year. The doctors diagnosed him with meningitis, an inflammation of the brain, and the boy died.
The doctor on duty came out and said, "Denon, I'm sorry, but your son is dead." My whole world collapsed. He was so little and so cute.
The boy wasn't Yuri's son. Who was your son's father?
Yes, he was my first love, and his name was Gamzat, and he was Dagestani. I met him as a first-year student. It was love at first sight.
But they couldn't be together. Anastasia was unwelcome in the strict Dagestani family.
I see a woman yelling curses, and she doesn't want the baby, neither from you nor from your relation.
Gamzat's mother disapproved of our relationship because he was a Muslim, while I'm a Christina. She told Gamzat directly that he was supposed to marry a woman of their faith.
When did Gamzat introduce you to his mother?
When I was 7 months pregnant. I told her I loved him and he loved me. She cursed us. Me and my unborn baby.
A mother's curse is a powerful thing and it's hard to get rid of it. While the consequences can be unexpected, but nobody had a clue of how the curse exactly worked.
Anastasia says that she and Gamzat decided to marry anyway, which they eventually did.
The cards show me that the boy got sick after all those curses.
Yes?
The baby was the glue that held you together. The baby gets ill and dies, and people break up.
Had Ilya survived, we would have never broken up.
After they buried their son, Anastasia couldn't stay with her husband. The awful pain of the loss became stronger than the love. Anastasia says that she simply couldn't look at her husband, who had the same eyes as their dead sons.
Whenever I looked at him, I saw my son and cried. I realized I couldn't speak to that man anymore.
The curse was probably the reason both your son and your husband died. And now, it's threatening your life. I need to see your son's grave. I need to work there.
Hello, son. Hello, my dear baby. This is your mom.
I decided to summon the boy's spirit to ask him about the curse. Your mom has come to visit you, dear. Anastasia, you still remember every moment spent with your son?
He babbled so cutely. I wanted to hear his laughter, tears, and joy. But I only saw the pain. His death was terrible, and I couldn't do anything. I cried every night. I wept and howled as a wolf howls at the moon. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Anastasia, your son says it's not your fault. He heard your every word.
I always wanted to talk to him like this, and you gave me the chance to do it finally.
Then the spirit pointed at Anastasia's arm.
Let me see. Do you see the picture?
This is a sakura.
These blossoms, there was blood on them. I see the blood flowing down the blossoms.
I cut them.
Oh dear God. Anastasia, why did you do it?
I was thinking about Ilya and decided I'd be with him.
You promised your dead son you'd see him soon, right?
Yes.
It's connected with a promise you gave to a dead person.
Anastasia says she remembers almost nothing about the incident. When she regained consciousness, she was at the hospital, and later, she was told her neighbor had saved her when she dropped by and saw Anastasia in the puddle of blood.
The blood was flowing. But not much time had passed. When you have nobody to support you and you try to deal with your problems all alone, it's hard. It's incredibly hard. You must share it with somebody and ask them for help. If you ask for help, you will have it.
The curse was intended to bring loneliness and death. This is why Anastasia's both husbands died, and the boy got sick because at the moment the curse was applied, he was in his mother's womb.
The clairvoyants carry out the ritual to lift the curse of Anastasia's first husband's mother. It was the reason the woman was doomed to stay alone and eventually die. The psychics are confident Anastasia is alive because she's done many good things to other people. And this is what's holding her in our world, as well as the children, for whom she's assumed the whole responsibility.
Don't worry about your son, he's in the heaven together with Marina, Yuri's first wife. She takes care of your son, just as you take care of her daughter.
Thank you. Dear God, thank you for this. I even see her take him in her arms, and he tenderly hugs her like I hug Miroslava. Thank you so much for helping me.
It's amazing how a mother's curse can cause terrible things. Parents always wish good for their children. They should never forget, however, that the best future for their children is the one they decide for themselves. A young mother of 2 children died under mysterious circumstances. The family is convinced that a mystical force took her to the other world. Don't miss out. The psychics will expose the deadly supernatural entity. 32-year-old Valentina Bravarska from a small Ukrainian village died under unexplained circumstances 9 months into pregnancy.
Her death left too many questions. She was carrying a child and had no problems with her health, and then she was gone just like that.
Only 2 weeks were left until the due date. On that spring day, Valentina went for her final planned ultrasound and felt ill right outside the doctor's office.
She was talking and laughing in the car. Everything was fine, but then she suddenly felt unwell in the corridor, and that was it. She never recovered.
Medics diagnosed her with a stroke and immediately proceeded to perform a C-section. They saved the baby, but lost the struggle for the mother's life.
Her skull got flooded with blood and her brain started boiling.
For Valery, Valentina's husband, the death of his wife became the tragedy of his life. Left with 2 children, the widower secluded himself from the world and has been avoiding any conversations about his late wife.
His wound is still too raw. He loved her very much.
But Valentina's death hit her children, Nastya and newborn Sofia, the hardest.
The elder girl is at such a pivotal age, 13 years old. She needs her mother to be by her side, and the little one is just a tiny baby.
Valentina's family is convinced that some sort of mysticism is involved in her death, as recently the woman had been having nightmares in which she drowned in black water.
She would wake up sitting on her bed and howling like a wolf. She didn't understand what was happening to her.
Half a year before the tragedy, Valentina's older daughter also had a terrifying dream. She saw her mother on the floor, but when she grabbed her by the hand, she felt it was cold as ice.
She said, "Mom, I had a dream that you died." And Valentina said, "That means I'll live a long life."
Valentina's niece, Yulia, is certain that the psychics can help uncover the reasons behind her beloved aunt's death.
Something evil is happening here. Someone, or maybe something, cursed us, our family.
Valentina's husband refused to meet with the psychics, saying he couldn't bear to hear about his wife's suffering again. Therefore, Yulia arranged a meeting with the psychics in the nearby city, from where they would travel together to the village where Valentina lived with her family.
I had a very unpleasant experience. I was working with a photo, and suddenly I felt the presence of some entity. It was hanging in the air, transparent, like a curtain, a human-like figure with long, thin tentacles. And it was reaching out to my throat. I looked up, and something entered my mind, trying to hypnotize me. I blacked out. I came to myself sitting in the kitchen, and my hand was holding a knife, covered in blood. It was so terrifying.
It's truly horrifying. But who hypnotized the psychic? And is it related to the investigation?
Strange. Yaroslava, I was in a great hurry to catch my flight to Ukraine. On my way to the airport in Baku, I had a nagging feeling that something was about to happen. Suddenly, I saw a woman in a black cloak standing in the middle of the road, screaming at me. I'm an experienced driver, but I got terrified. There was a child next to her. I swerved the wheel onto the oncoming lane and almost collided with a truck. The car rolled over, and I flew into a ditch. If it weren't for the people's help, I'd have most probably died. I think there's some force that prevented us both from getting here. To my right, I sense a ghost of a woman who's been hindering us. She says we shouldn't have come here.
The psychic sees a woman again. Is it the same woman he saw on his way to Baku, or someone else?
Hello.
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 Yulia came to the meeting with the psychics not alone, but with her mother, Olena, who is Valentina's sister.
My sister was pregnant and died. We think some mystical forces are involved.
Wait a moment.
As soon as Olena started talking about Valentina and I tried to tune into her, the ghost of the woman who's been haunting us lunged at me and started choking me.
It's unbelievable. Why is this woman constantly hindering the psychic? Who is she? And what does she have to do with Valentina's death?
I need to lay out the cards. It wasn't her destiny. Look, a woman in a wreath. She's happy, and she was supposed to have a long life.
I'd like to review her fate to understand better. The stars say she was supposed to be standing here with us, with a long life ahead of her.
And next to her, there's a person she loves. And some business they started together.
They ran a store.
Thanks to the owner's kindness and constant smile, the store quickly gained popularity among customers. The couple traded building materials, household chemicals, seedlings, and other goods that are in demand in the countryside. But the happy, and now financially secure, couple somehow couldn't conceive their long-awaited second child.
For some reason, they couldn't do it. Years went by and she couldn't have another child.
Finally, God had mercy and gave them a child. But little Sophia was born, and Valentina passed away. I feel like a part of my life, a half of me, has been taken away.
I'm having a vision of someone on the brink of life and death.
She spent 25 days in a coma, unable to wake up.
I see her being operated on.
They first did the C-section and then a craniotomy.
Everyone who knew Valentina awaited her recovery and tried to help however they could. In almost every local store, there was a box for donations to raise money for her treatment.
We all hoped she would pull through and would live and raise her little girl.
But why did such a tragedy befall a young, healthy woman whose stars foretold a long and happy life?
I sensed that she had problems with her husband shortly before her death. They argued, or even had a fight.
Maybe because she said she would go for her final ultrasound on Friday and he suggested going on Monday instead. She said, "No, I want to go on Friday, so take me there." And it happened to her on Friday.
Her husband turned away from you, and there's some resentment. He bears a grudge against you, and you feel the same towards him.
While Valentina was alive, we stuck together and tried to be friends, but after she's gone, we became like total strangers.
I feel a strange energy. Valentina's husband is hiding from someone.
That's kind of true.
I see you suspected he had another woman.
I've known all my life that Valentina was with him, but it's hard for me to see someone else around him.
We need to talk to him.
He should be at the store now.
When the psychics arrive there, they find the store's door locked, even though people who gathered around the psychics claim the man is inside. However, the psychics cannot reach him. But why? Is he hiding something? Could he be involved in his wife's death?
He cries, trying to hide it from everyone else, but he still cries because his heart is filled with tears.
I sensed a strong energy of fear. The man is terribly worried about his children. He loves them very much. His younger daughter almost died with her mother. He couldn't have wished for their deaths.
Such relationships in a family are rare. He understood and respected her. It was a model family.
I can feel Valentina's children now. Strangely, despite being sisters, they might become enemies in the future.
At first, I knew that Nastia was outraged that she was there, but her mother wasn't. She was her mother's favorite. She loved her so much that you could say she's a spoiled child.
I'd like to address Nastia. I hope she watches this program. Nastia, I saw your mom's spirit. She says she loves you and little Sophia very, very much. She wants you to be friends with Sophia and stop seeing your sister as the reason for your mom's death. She loves you both very, very much.
My goodness, this entity again. I saw that transparent tool-like entity again. And I was very afraid for the people gathered around because that entity had immense power.
Yaroslava, I saw a woman whose head was on fire. I saw the flames.
Wait, it's like something's burning on her here.
Her veil caught fire during the engagement ceremony.
In the church, she carried a candle, and the flame reached her veil, and it started burning.
That was a very bad sign because right before her death, Valentina felt a hellish fire in her head from the brain hemorrhage. Her brain literally burned from the inside.
Then, was the veil the true cause for Valentina's death?
Yaroslava, I also saw that the dress Valentina wore when she got married didn't belong to her.
I used to work with a woman at the health department, and her daughter got married a little earlier, and then we bought that dress from them. They sold it to us cheaper.
We both got married in that dress. Valentina wore it first, and I wore it 2 weeks later for my wedding.
At first, I thought the cause was the dress. The energetic burden of another person could have passed on to Valentina, but you wore the dress after her, and thank God you're fine. No, it's not about the dress at all.
I constantly felt that terrible entity next to me. It couldn't have been caused by some talisman, hex, or evil eye. Not even a curse. I couldn't even imagine what kind of force it was in my worst nightmare.
I've seen something. A man's spirit. He was Valentina's family, a blood relative.
Our brother.
He suffocated.
It'll soon be 40 days since he hanged himself.
Oh my God.
Valentina and Olena had a younger brother named Sergei. He was 42 years old. One day, he left for work and never returned. They searched for him for 4 days until they finally found him in the forest, hanging.
Yaroslava, Sergei's spirit is telling me now that before his death, he had a dream of Valentina. And moments before he committed suicide, he saw her in some kind of black robe.
Strange. It turns out Valentina appears in her niece's dreams wearing the very same outfit.
I had a dream. She was wearing something with a hood, and her hair was black, and she had on this black clothing. I said, "Valentina, don't go. Let me hug you one last time." But she took a girl, a little black-haired one, and they walked away.
It's horrifying. This woman had 3 children, Valentina, Olena, and Serhii. 2 of them are no longer alive. Valentina appeared to her brother in a black robe, and now she's appearing in the same way to Olena and her daughter Yulia's dreams. Does this mean they will die too?
I can sense Valentina now. But she's not alone. Who is that little girl with her?
You see, when she died, a little girl who lived next door died too. She was only 3 years old.
They said it was pneumonia.
Valentina appeared to her brother in a dream, and he died. Then this neighbor's little girl, with whom Valentina's family saw her in their dreams. Valentina appeared to many, and all these people are in danger.
I was driving to the airport to fly to Ukraine when suddenly a woman in black appeared before my eyes, with a little girl beside her. Now I understand. It was Valentina. For some reason, she didn't want me to come here.
We need to go to the cemetery and talk to her there. I see the same entity here. It's milky white, like tulle. It's a human figure with very long fingers, like tentacles, and it's looking at us. It's standing by her grave.
Yaroslava. Once I tried to help a terminally ill patient. I was with him when a ladder descended from heaven and a black creature appeared. It was transparent with long tentacles for hands. And at that moment, the patient screamed that death had come for him.
It's mind-blowing. Does it mean that, from the very beginning of the investigation, death has been following the psychics?
Valentina knew she would die. She saw it in a dream 2.5 months before the tragedy.
She practically didn't sleep. She said there wasn't a day when something didn't come to her in a dream.
She started screaming once. We asked her what happened, and she said, "Look, there are someone's fingers on my leg." She said, "A terrible being was pulling me somewhere." And indeed, there were finger marks on her leg.
Elena, I'm summoning your sister's spirit now. As blood relatives, you should also be able to feel her.
My arms are getting numb.
I see her standing next to you. I'm asking why her life ended so suddenly. Valentina says she's a messenger of death. There's some connection between her and death. There was some kind of deal between them.
It's shocking, but is it possible for someone to make a deal with death? And if that's really the case, why did Valentina do it?
Death was supposed to take someone else. So Valentina, in a sense, gave herself to death in exchange.
Her baby was supposed to die. Valentina decided to give her life instead so Sophia would survive.
She even spent some time at the hospital struggling to keep the baby alive.
A mother's word. The mother's word is more powerful than any kind of ritual. So she basically exchanged her life for her child's. But there was a price to pay. Basically, she went into death's service.
Strange things started happening to her after she got pregnant. I see her arguing with a woman.
Wait. The woman is a stranger she met on the street.
A gypsy.
Suddenly, at the cemetery, a friend of Nastia, Valentina's daughter, appeared. The girl heard the words of the psychics and wanted to talk to them. Apparently, Nastia had told her friend something similar.
She told me that Aunt Valentina met a gypsy woman. She ran up to her and grabbed her hand.
During the argument, grabbing Valentina by the hands, the woman cursed her baby. The gypsy woman said outright, "Your child will die."
Valentina was extremely worried about her child. She was in the hospital twice, so she took the gypsy's words very personally. She believed they would come true. And as a true mother, she was ready to do anything for her child. That's why she asked death to take her instead and let her baby live. And in return for the service rendered to her by death, she became its messenger. She appeared to everyone in that black robe, and all those people died.
We need to pull Valentina's soul out of death's embrace. Break their deal.
We don't need to perform any rituals at the cemetery.
Let's move away from the cemetery. This place will do. We need to gather some kindling. And there were a lot of people around. And the ritual that Yaroslava and I were going to perform was too dangerous, as we were dealing with the afterlife and death itself. So, I decided to protect everyone by giving out my enchanted candles. The blood bond is the strongest in the world, and that's why Olena was, so to speak, a conduit for us between Valentina and death itself. Only then could we break the deal and protect her entire family.
This is it. Now she's free.
Will she be fine out there?
I see her on the riverbank, her feet in the water. Valentina says she feels free now. There's a happy smile on her face.
I'm incredibly grateful to you. Thank you for coming to us.
We're all shocked. Valentina sacrificed her soul for the sake of her baby, so that little Sophia would live. I'm shocked.
Unbelievable story of a black widow. Why is a woman burying her beloved men one after another? Watch the shocking revelation of the forbidden love union. In this episode, the psychics respond to the call for help from Tetiana Nazarova from Ukraine. The young woman is desperate. All the men who appear in her life die soon.
It's a glob of pain that won't go.
Her 4 husbands died. She buried all of them. She's all alone.
Tetiana's first husband was taken by an illness. The second one was beaten to death, while the third had a sudden heart failure. Her 4th husband committed suicide.
People say the problem is in me. They call me a black widow.
Tetiana blames herself for the deaths. This thought is driving her insane.
I've even decided I would never date anyone or live with men anymore.
However, this is not all. Her friends stopped talking to Tetiana, and they avoid her. Her neighbors won't even say hello and try not to communicate with her. Women are afraid Tetiana can kill their husbands.
There's fear of her. Some kind of inner fright.
She's a witch and must be burned on fire.
She was probably cursed, or I don't know.
I beg the psychics to help me understand what's going on. I'm only 37, and I want to live on. I wish to have a family. I hate to hurt people around me.
Psychics Jana Shulikova and Larisa Hutsanu agreed to help Tetiana. Before setting out for the investigation, they meet to discuss what they feel.
Look.
The Black Widow.
Black widows usually drink the energy of the men they live with, replenishing their own energy. But something is terribly wrong here. When I worked with her photo, I saw a strange creature. It was little, like a dwarf, and had a hump on its back, creepy hands, and a big nose. It's holding Tetiana by her shoulders, and when she raises her hands, she holds men's heads in them.
I see a different thing. First, there are crosses. 1, 2. The first one is near, while the second one is farther away. Then I see a short woman approached by a man. When the couple embraces, the sky above them becomes stormy. It turns dark and frightening, and the couple crumbles to dust.
The psychics come to see Tetiana. She's barely holding her emotions.
My soul hurts for the deaths that have already happened. If this doesn't stop, I'm afraid I can hurt myself.
You shouldn't even think of such things.
But what do I do?
The cat that jumped on the fence from the street suddenly interrupts the psychics.
Animals see otherworldly forces and spirits. So when the cat appeared, I also saw a silhouette rushing around us to and fro. It keeps flitting and it won't stop. The strange entity approached Tetiana, and then it seemed it dissolved in her. The picture sent chills down my spine. and the death energy emanated from Tatiana immediately. Mikhailo.
Mikhailo is our sound engineer. He suddenly got unwell and passed out. Everyone's terrified, trying to revive him.
Mikhailo, how are you?
Mikhailo was shivering. He felt so bad that he couldn't even move. It felt like all energy was suddenly sucked out of him.
I've dealt with Black Widows before. They drink their husband's energy for years. What happened to Mikhailo happened in a split second. Mikhailo, try to remember what you felt before you fainted. This is very important.
I felt being smothered. First, I thought it was my jacket collar. Then something hit me in my chest. It was a hard blow. I don't feel well.
In the yard, I saw a silhouette that literally entered Tatiana. She felt nothing, but Mikhailo fainted the very moment it happened. Let's stop filming for a while. We need time to understand what's going on, and Mikhailo needs a protection spell. This is very dangerous. We don't understand what we're facing.
My God, this is terrible. I don't want it anymore. I want to leave.
Wait up. Oh, Kayal's calling.
The clairvoyant's colleague was extremely worried. Kayal Alekperov started talking of some deadly danger that threatened the whole crew and the psychics.
He felt something. He says it's somehow related to our story. He wants to help us.
This is what we need.
I was preparing for a prayer when I had a vision. A young woman with large blue eyes. She was surrounded by the project's crew. Then a hideous entity emerged behind her. It resembled a man with a hump on his back, but he was very short. He pointed his finger at several crew members, and they fell dead. All of them were men.
The psychic described the same entity that Larisa Hutsanu saw before the investigation. But what kind of spirit is it? And why is it threatening the lives of other people?
We put a protection spell on us, Mikhailo, and the entire crew, but we can't tell how long it will last. We don't have much time, a few hours at most. Once the entity decides to food on somebody else, it's going to be a nightmare.
The clairvoyants return to the yard. Tatiana is too worried. She says she won't take another death.
This pendant will encapsulate you so the information or energy won't escape you. You'll be like in a box. Thus, I can work, and Larisa can work too without any threat.
My djinn says, search for a man, but fear his son. But who am I supposed to find? One of this blue-eyed woman's husbands? Or somebody else?
It's been leading me that way, to the left all the time. I need to go there. Ah, my goodness! What happened here? There's blood.
What did you see?
My husband. He was torn apart. He was lying here and his body was torn to bloody pieces.
It's awful. Tatiana found the body of her last husband, who was torn to pieces, right where the psychics are standing. He was a military man, and he killed himself with a grenade.
I see him. A dark-eyed man with broad eyebrows. He's broad-shouldered. He extends his hand towards me, and there's a piece of paper in it.
A note. He left me a note. In it, he wrote that he loved all of us and asked to give his regards to Vika. She's his daughter. He said it was all his fault.
As it turned out, Tetiana's husband had a brain tumor. Every day, he suffered from unbearable pain, and to rid himself of it, he decided to commit suicide.
I left for work in the morning. I called him at about 10 or 11, but he didn't pick up the phone. Then I felt something was wrong. I caught a bus and returned, crying all the way home. It was raining hard. When I came here, I saw him lying here. His body was torn to pieces. Is he here now?
Yes, he's next to you. He wanted to spend his life with you until you both grew old. It's very hard for him. He says, I loved her so much. She was my world.
Ow. God.
Did you feel his touch?
Yes, it was like a wave that flowed on me.
He's asking you to forgive him, and he's crying. His head is bent down, and he's crying.
I asked Victor's spirit how he died, and the only thing he told me was, the dwarf killed me. What dwarf? Did he mean someone real or the entity from the netherworld? But what matters most is, how did he kill Tetiana's husband?
I couldn't get one thing, though. If Tetiana wasn't a traditional Black Widow, then why did all her husbands and lovers die? It was as if some sort of entity, feeding on sexual energy, had taken possession of her. But the question was, why?
I see an image of the blue-eyed woman. I see her as a teenager, and next to her is the spirit of a young man. Dear God, people around her were dying even back then.
And indeed, the boy Tetiana loved at school, her classmate Yevhen, died a few months after they began dating.
When I was in the 9th grade, the boy, Evgen, I have his photo, died.
He went to bed and never woke up. The doctors said the cause for the death was a dislodged blood clot. He was only 14. Soon after that, Tetiana had another boyfriend, but he was murdered 6 months later.
He was beaten up badly. We barely recognized him.
Other teenagers beat him up. He was 17.
I see a man. Who is this man?
What does he look like?
He's about 50. The spirit of some man appeared next to us, but then it vanished suddenly. The next moment, I saw it from afar. It was moving away from us. And then some force dragged me after it sharply. My God.
Larissa.
The dwarf is hunting. This is what my book is telling me. God, who is he? There's only one thing I feel clearly. He's going to take someone else's life. Something must be done urgently.
It brings death. My power is leaving me.
Larissa? Quiet, quiet. Bring water.
When the neighbors heard the noise, they rushed outside, and they're trying to help.
God, the dwarf is trying to attack one of my colleagues. It may have fatal consequences, and her heart may not take it. She must be saved.
People, bring smelling salt.
Her hands are getting cold. We need to hurry.
Does anybody have smelling salt? Yes, got it.
The situation was going out of control rapidly. The protection spell Larissa and I put on everybody was getting weaker, and the entity attacked Larissa. It seemed it was the same entity that had almost killed Mikhailo. Larissa, do you feel any better?
Yes. At first I was pulled somewhere by the spirit of a man. Then some other entity attacked and took away my powers. While I was running along the road, the man's spirit kept repeating, "Go to my cross."
Yes, I saw a cemetery nearby. Do you mean the spirit was dragging you to its grave?
We need to go to the cemetery.
Look, what we have here, there, is a man who died. This man seems to be your family. Has any of your relatives died?
My father died 2 years ago. He was 70 and he had stomach cancer.
Tetiana's father was her mother's second husband. Tetiana has a stepsister from her mother's first marriage. But what is the connection between her father and the fact that the men she loves die?
Is your father buried far away from here?
A 10-minute ride.
Let's go.
The spirit of Tetiana's father was standing by his grave. He was waiting for us. He was clenching his fists and crying. He asked us, "Tell my daughter the truth and ask her to forgive us." I have a feeling there are many things you and your father had to tell each other, but you didn't.
I didn't feel my father's kindness. He distanced himself from me.
I noticed a woman approaching us. It was another spirit, and she was asking for forgiveness. There's a woman here, a woman's spirit. She's short and plump, and she looks older.
This is Dad's mother, Grandma Olha.
She's standing behind the cross. I had a vision. A room with a bed. Tetiana's father and grandmother are sleeping in it. For a few seconds, I saw what happened before it. It made me sick. Wow, such skeletons in the wardrobe. So, your father and grandmother had a relationship.
Sexual?
Yes.
Oh, God.
They had a connection. It was incest.
Tetiana is shocked. Is it really the truth? How could the psychic's words be verified? We tried to discuss this delicate matter with Tetiana's mother, but she refused to comment.
Mom always bore a grudge against Dad. She still sometimes recalls how he cheated on her. She received a call from someone. It was a woman who told her, "Helena, you must arrive quick. Your vassal is in bed with a woman." And she still sees the picture of them in bed. She'll be 76 soon, but she can't forget it. It hurt her a lot.
Tetiana's mother never told her who her father was with. However, it turns out that her stepsister knows everything.
Yes, it's such a shame. I was shocked. My stepfather, he had a relationship with his own mother. I know it because Mom told me.
This is a truly horrendous situation, but when this happened, Tetiana was only 8. What relation does she have to it?
God, I finally understand the meaning of the words. Find a man, but fear his son. It's about Tetiana's father. Now I feel that he has an energetic offspring, and it's not like all the rest. This is the dwarf that the book showed me. As a result of the sinful affair, this terrible creature, the invisible entity, was begotten. It's an energetic glob of their sin. It's not a person. It's an entity that wants to live too.
So this is why it's been feeding on sexual energy. It appeared as a result of a sinful connection.
But why is the entity the psychics mentioned tormenting Tetiana?
The energetic offspring that appeared as a result of the incest was searching for a body in which it could live, and he possessed the body of the blue-eyed woman. At that moment, energetically, she was the weakest in the family. With her, he was getting stronger and stronger until he became a real monster.
I'll leave you the pendant. It's going to protect you, so nothing will reach you or harm people around you. But most importantly, we had to break the link between Tetiana and the spirit, which had been regularly taking possession of her, feeding on the energy of those who were around her.
The psychics go to the van, where they begin the preparation for the ritual.
Larissa, take the salt and pour it in. Close it. Let's go and bury it. The entity will stay here, and it won't bother Tetiana or the people who are around her.
Thank you so much. I can't hold back a smile. Am I going to be all right?
Of course. Everything's going to be fine.
Thank you so much.
It's hard to believe what consequences the sinful connection between a mother and a son had. A ghost of a boy with a noose in his hands and the mysterious number 13. Where did the mystical force that's attacking an entire village come from? Irina Lipanina, a young Ukrainian woman from a small village, has reached out to the psychics for help. She claims that her own house is trying to kill her and her family.
I feel something pressing down on me and wake up in terror. The feeling is like something tries to crush me, and I can't move or breathe.
Irina's mother, Valentina, is also afraid of the house.
I was being crushed. It's like something turns and then bam, it falls on you, and you're completely paralyzed.
Whenever I'm alone here, it feels like something or someone walks behind me. Something invisible rustles somewhere or knocks on the window.
But Irina is most afraid for her little daughter, Eva. The girl is constantly nervous and terrified in the house.
One day, Eva started backing away, crying and saying, "No." I asked her, "Eva, what is it?" And she said, "There's a man," and started crying, scared.
Once upon a time, a large family lived in this house. Irina, her elder brother and sister, and her parents, Valentina and Roman. Since then, their home has burned down almost entirely 3 times.
When it happened the first time, they extinguished it, but the second time it burned to ashes.
After the last fire, they didn't even have the house renovated, as it's very frightening to be there.
It feels like there is something in there. I'm afraid to be in the house alone.
The family had to move out. Valentina and her husband live in a temporary building next to the ill-fated house. Their elder daughter and son live separately, and their youngest, Irina, rents an apartment in a nearby town, where she lives with her daughter.
I'd really like to find out once and for all what's wrong with our house.
Our project experts, Kayal Alekperov and Sofia Litvinova, take up the investigation.
I had a strange dream. I saw a little boy near a coffin. He reached out to me as if asking for help. Then a noose appeared in his hands, and 13 figures stood nearby. They were spirits, and it felt like the child was drawing them to him. Then I saw a little girl. Behind her stood a dark figure in a black hood, staring at the child with cold eyes. It was death, and it seemed to want to embrace the little one with its bony hands.
I see the number 13. It's a dozen from the devil. We're dealing with something demonic here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
We're so glad you arrived. We really need your help.
The little girl from my dream appeared in front of me. She was Irina's daughter. Let's go. I'd like to talk to this little angel.
Sofia Litvinova decided to work in the mystical house. Meanwhile, Kayal Alekperov quickly found common ground with little Ava.
The girl is severely ill. It seems like this disease is very rare, something related to the heart.
She was born prematurely. She had multiple rhabdomyomas in her heart.
A rhabdomyoma is a benign tumor that primarily affects muscles and joints, especially in children. Rhabdomyomas of the heart often lead to death.
We need to save the child. I sense a dark force here.
My God, it's awful. It feels like the roof is about to collapse. Someone's presence is pressing down. This house is teeming with supernatural phenomena. Disgruntled spirits are at work here, but I couldn't figure out what they were after. I'd like to work with my tools now. It won't even stand. It's not working.
The door fell. It's been standing for about 4 months.
These are signs.
We need you to get the child out of here. It's very dangerous. The spirits of the dead gathered around us, trying to interfere. Among them was a small boy holding a noose. But whenever I tried to establish contact with that spirit, it immediately slipped away, as if playing with me. At that moment, I felt a spirit appear near us, but it didn't show itself to us. I could only feel its bad energy. It seemed like it wanted to attack us.
I can't... Oh!
Please bring something Sophia can sit down on.
The spirit is over there. It's a young woman, not plump, but rather delicate in her youth, and a lightning is shining on her.
My husband's previous wife was killed by electricity. It happened after the rain.
Valentina recognized her second husband, Roman's ex-wife, by Sophia's description. The woman died 15 years ago from an electric shock. A wire above her house broke and fell into the yard. The poor woman stepped on it and died from severe burns. The husband was left a widower and later married Valentina.
Her spirit is here to ask what you did to the two girls.
They refused to live with their dad.
It turned out the man had 2 daughters from his first marriage. Valentina took the girls to live with them, but the relationship between Roman's daughters and their stepmothers soured, and so the girls flatly refused to listen to their father's new wife.
The thing is, the spirit of this young woman, who... She's standing right here. She claims you mistreated her children. You yelled at them. Why?
They didn't listen to me and didn't wash the dishes or clean the house, so I yelled when I came home from work.
No matter how hard Valentina tried to find common ground with her husband's daughters, it didn't work out. So, eventually, the family of Roman's deceased wife took care of the girls, but later they ended up in an orphanage.
The woman's spirit is outraged that her children were mistreated and deprived of love, affection, and attention. I saw her standing behind Valentina, wagging her finger at her.
Is it really the spirit of the mother taking revenge on Valentina and all the house residents for not raising her children properly? To understand what's happening, Kayal Alekperov decided to perform a ritual.
I want this fabric to absorb Valentina's energy. This will help us understand why the spirits won't leave you alone. Look, there's number 13 here.
The devil's dozen.
The number 13 does indeed stand out on the fabric, but what does it all mean?
I see the spirit of a man of around 60 years old standing by the road and calling me. He says he will tell me everything.
I feel that being called from this house to another house. It's like the spirits are collecting their dues. The entire village, first something happens in one house, then it moves to another house and then another. We need to turn this way.
After talking to the locals, we were shocked. It turns out that horrors indeed occurred not only in the Lipanin family's house, the whole village was suffering.
Yes, I heard a click in the middle of the night, and the light turned on. First, we thought it was the wiring, but then we realized it clicked and turned on by itself. I turned off the light and lay down, but it felt like someone was walking around the house.
I'm being drawn here. Kayal. Over here.
In search of the mystical force, which, as it turned out, troubled the entire village, the psychics enter a house.
The man's spirit was calling us. I saw him enter this house.
Hello. We are psychics conducting an investigation. Kayal and Sophia.
Svetlana.
A spirit brought us here to your house. He entered it.
Literally 2 hours ago, I heard a loud noise and thought someone was walking around.
Svetlana and her daughter Yana say that mystical occurrences happen so often in their house that they have almost gotten used to them.
Yes, we hear rustling, banging, and then something like voices, women's and men's, coming from the attic.
It feels like there's a wheelchair in this house. The energy is infused with medication.
My daughter was born with a disability, and so did my granddaughter.
The owner of the house doesn't lament her misfortune in front of the cameras. Her daughter has cerebral palsy. Despite her illness, she dreamed of having a child. Doctors advised against giving birth, but Yana heard of cases when people with her diagnosis had healthy children. Unfortunately, her daughter was also born sick.
I feel some forces here. I hear a voice saying, "You shouldn't have come here." I'd like to check the whole household. We need to split.
I sense the same thing as at the previous house, the same creaking, banging, moving, and falling.
We had a mirror hanging here. And once Yana came into the house and saw a man
in a raincoat.
Yes. And then he all of a sudden disappeared in the mirror.
It all sounds like a scene from a mystical horror movie. But why are the villagers haunted by these eerie, mysterious shadows?
After that, you took the mirror down, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Now, I don't hang any mirrors here because I'm scared.
The card of evil spirits, and I keep seeing the number 13, the devil's dozen.
This is terrifying. As soon as Sofia Litvinova took out the cards, the socket short-circuited. We checked to see if there was a fire, but luckily there wasn't. But what does it all mean? Meanwhile, Kayal Alekperov works in another part of the house. The man who lived here moved out of the village a few years ago, so now the place is empty. Incredibly, after the psychic's prayer, the window frame simply fell by itself for no reason. How is that possible? It had been standing here still for years.
Kayal!
You know, while I was working, I saw the spirit of a man. He told me he died here. The spirit was the late husband of Svetlana, the owner of the house.
Svetlana's husband, Vyacheslav, worked in a horse theater. He performed various tricks on horseback and never complained about his health, but he unexpectedly died from a heart attack.
This is his favorite horse. His name's Mustang.
I felt the man's death was related to the number 13.
Indeed, Svetlana's husband died on August 13th.
Everyone here has the same problems. A mystical force is breathing down the necks of nearly every villager. And it's especially frightening that children are suffering. I felt there are many children here with severe, incurable illnesses.
The psychic's words make your hair stand on end. Is everyone born in this village doomed to suffer? But why?
At that moment, I heard a faint whisper around us growing into a hum. And I heard someone's thoughts. They were many people's thoughts. And those people were somewhere nearby, waiting for help. I decided to leave the yard, and I was right.
The villagers learned that the psychics had arrived and gathered near Svetlana's house. All these people are afraid to live in their own homes.
Let me conduct a ritual. I'm going to ask for help from higher powers. Excuse me, could you please come over? What's your name?
Tatiana. My house is crushing me too. I'm sick, and my son is sick. We're unwell all the time.
It feels like something wanders in your house.
The spirits come into the houses and try to suffocate the owners. They're driving them out.
Once, my husband and I were sleeping, and at midnight, the guitar started playing. Our hair stood on end. Nobody's lived in that room ever since.
People complain they simply can't live in their village. But why is this happening? And how can this horror be stopped?
Last night, I had a dream. I dreamed of a little boy. Behind him stood 13 human figures. They all had some strange marks on their necks, like from hanging. I think the cause of everything happening in this village is 13 hangmen.
This is incredible. But the locals say that many people here really committed suicide.
There on Sadova Street, we're right beyond our street. Many people really hang themselves.
A man hanged himself at the farm. Then our neighbors did the same. Many locals did it.
An elderly woman hanged there.
When we counted the number of hanged people in the village, we were shocked. There were exactly 13 of them.
Then Sophia and I understood that the number 13 was indeed the devil's dozen. In such numbers, devilish forces manifest themselves. The whole village constantly suffered from the intervention of mystical forces.
At that moment, a force called me, and it pulled me to the crossroads. This crossroads is the epicenter, the vortex.
A little boy died in this village. He drowned. He is the child spirit who appeared in my dream before the investigation. In my dream, the boy was holding a noose and was somehow pulling all those suicides who hanged themselves to the other world.
The thing is, the boy was running, and the pipe burst here. They dug it up with a tractor and forgot to cover it. And so water filled the hole, and he fell there.
Many years ago, a young family lived here. A man, his wife, and their 2 small children, a 3-year-old girl and her brother, 2 years older than her.
I remember little Sasha. He was a bit older than my son. He was a very sociable boy.
Like most villagers, little Sasha's parents were busy with household chores, and their children were playing together outside.
He drowned, and his sister stood nearby. I have no idea how she didn't fall in the hole.
He slipped and fell.
I feel nobody visits the boy's grave.
The locals say the boy's parents were devastated by the tragedy. His father turned to drinking and eventually drank himself to death, and his mother mourned for a long time at the cemetery.
Once, at the cemetery, the woman saw the spirit of her son. The boy wanted to comfort his mom, but she got scared.
The people say that one day, the woman went to her son's grave and saw some kind of apparition. She was so frightened by what she saw that she decided to flee the village. She left, taking her little daughter with her. So now, no one visits the boy's grave.
The boy's spirit didn't hold any grudge against his parents, but abandoned by everyone, he wanted to draw attention to himself. He would come into people's homes so they would visit his grave. The most vulnerable to supernatural forces are small children and those thinking about suicide. That's why the boy's spirit attracted death and severe illnesses to them. New deaths kept happening, and people more and more frequently visited the cemetery where he was buried. I want to ask each of you to pray for this child in your own way. Also, it's necessary to invite a priest to the boy's grave so that his spirit can find peace and leave this world. Let's go. Show me where the boy died.
Over here, beyond the vehicle, was the hole.
That lonely tree, right?
Let me pray so that this spirit never comes here with bad intentions again.
And I will pray that there is peace in every house and that your children are healthy.
Valentina, I think your daughter will be fine after this. I'd also like to ask the locals to put a cross on the boy's grave and plant flowers. The little boy is not evil at all. After all, children are never evil. From now on, everything is going to be all right.
Thank you for coming to us, figuring this out, and helping us.